In this video, I'm going to share 3 really powerful GarageBand for Mac tips that you probably didn't know about. Automation. Amongst other things, you can use it to do things like fade in or fade out the volume of a project, or have the panning of a track adjust automatically. But did you know you can also use it to adjust the parameters of any plugin you have loaded on a track, and not just GarageBand's stock plugins either. You can use automation to automatically adjust the parameters of any third-party plugins you have on a track as well. In this project, I have a single track that plays back by itself for 4 bars as a sort of intro. It's not particularly interesting as is though. If I add this third-party filter plugin Filter to it, it definitely sounds a bit more interesting. But it's still not a particularly dynamic intro. If I turn on automation, either by clicking on Mix in GarageBand's toolbar and selecting Show Automation, or by hitting the keyboard shortcut A on my typing keyboard, I can have the filter's cutoff gradually release over the course of the 4-bar intro. In the track that I'm working with's track header, you can see that the automation parameter is set to the track's volume by default. If I click on that menu, I can then select from other track properties to automate, the currently available controls in the Smart Controls window, and here I can select one of the plugins I have loaded on my track. If I select Filter, I can choose to automate any of these controls. Cutoff is what I'm looking for here, so I'll select that. You can see a line has appeared along the length of the track's region. I can click anywhere along this line to place an automation point, then drag it to increase or decrease the filter's cutoff value. So if I put a point here and drag it down, then put another point here and drag it all the way up, the filter cutoff will slowly open, as it were, over the course of the 4 bars, making for a much more interesting intro. You can also use parameter automation to perform some more subtle changes. In this project, I have a heavily distorted guitar track that runs through the verse, chorus, and bridge sections. I'd really like to have the level of drive that's added by Aurora DSP's excellent Dead Kitty guitar plugin change, depending on what part of the song is currently playing. If I open automation again, click on the automation menu in my track's track header, then select Dead Kitty from the menu, I can automate any of these parameters. If I select drive, I can then add 1 point here in the region at the start of the verse, and 2 here at the end of the verse just before the chorus. If I drag the second of these 2 points up from 0 to 10, the drive will really kick in during the chorus. I can then go through the rest of the project using automation to adjust the level of drive depending on where in the song it's needed. In this project, I have a drummer track all set up and ready to go, and it sounds pretty good. Now, it sounds absolutely fine, but it is a little stilted and stiff, and certainly anyone who's worked with GarageBand or Logic before will probably be able to tell that I've used a drummer track in my song. We can humanize this drummer track and make it sound a whole lot more dynamic really easily. If I right-click on any of my track's track headers, I get this menu. If I then select Configure Track Headers, this menu pops up. From here, I can edit the controls that will show up on the track headers in this project. I can add track lock and record enable controls alongside the already present solo, mute, and monitor buttons. At the bottom of this menu, under Other View Options, I can also enable the groove track. With this on, if I hover my mouse cursor over the edge of any track header, this star icon pops up. By clicking on it, I'm assigning that track to be the groove track for this project. I can then choose other tracks in the project, which will have them automatically adjust to match the timing and feel of my groove track. So how does this help GarageBand's drummer sound more natural? Well, if I select this guitar track to be my groove track, and then click on the checkbox in my drummer track's track header to have it follow the timing of the groove track, it sounds a whole lot more natural. You can experiment with different tracks to adjust the feel of your drummer by simply selecting them as your groove track and seeing how that affects how your drummer plays back. This definitely works best in projects where you've recorded real instruments like guitars or basses. You may actually prefer your drum beat to be a bit more clinical and robotic in EDM or hip-hop flavoured projects, for example. First off, click on the track menu in the toolbar at the top of GarageBand's screen, and then click Show Tempo Track. Making tempo adjustments on the tempo track works in a similar way to automation. There's a tempo line along which you can click to place adjustment points. You can click on and drag an adjustment point to change the position of it on the timeline of your tempo change. Dragging the point up and down will increase or decrease the tempo after that point. To create a gradual increase or decrease in tempo, click on and drag the smaller circle above or below your adjustment point until you have a curve that suits your track. Once you've done this, your tempo changes will now start to come into effect once the playhead reaches the point that you've edited. Be aware that recorded audio regions might sound a little bit iffy if you're changing their tempo drastically, and it might be a good idea to put off any real instrument recordings until after adjusting the project's tempo. Drummer or MIDI tracks, however, will change to fit your project's tempo automatically though. Let me know what you think about these tips and if you've used them before down in the comments, and give that like button a good hard slap on your way past. I really appreciate it, and it helps more people see this video. For even more essential GarageBand for Mac tips, watch this next.